Welcome to a brand new episode, special episode of one of the guys. You already know who it is. As always, Triz.
DB.
We got special guest in the building. You want to introduce him, man? I don't even know how to talk about how important this guy is to the area.
If it's Bucks County, if you're a listener in Bucks County, you know who this guy is. Dalton Pepper. You know what I'm saying? Bucks County Player of the Year. Two-time. 2,000 points, over 900 rebounds. Professional basketball player, West Virginia, Temple. We're going to get into it.
How's it feel to be back home, man?
It's great, man. I'm happy you guys have me on the show. I'm a daily listener. I was listening
crazy.
all weekend.
It's crazy because I didn't even know you listened to the show like that until DB told me.
Yeah. I mean, you guys go way back, so I mean, I just like listening, sports talk, girls, whatever you want to do. I just like it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy you guys invited me on.
Of course.
And let's get to it.
Hell yeah, man.
All right.
So how's it feel to be back, though? Like, what was it like over there, first of all? We all know it's, we know. They don't know. Well, your first year playing professionally was in 2014, right?
14, 15.
14,
yeah, 14, 15.
14, 15. In Poland after Temple. So that was your first country playing professionally in. So how was that?
Poland was a different experience. It was a good starting point for my career, and I think it was a success as a team because they were a new team in the league and they just wanted to maintain in the middle of the pack. Mm-hmm. But the country was a little different. It's different being away, not seeing your friends and family. But you know, it's a job, it's a business, and you just got to do it. But Italy was a much different experience culturally, as DB seeing he was out there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Now, was that hard to grasp though? Like your first, like going from having fun in college, partying in between when you could, and doing whatever you think like that, and then going to it being your job. It was always really a job, but now that you're getting paid for it, was it just a huge leap?
I think it's just a difference. I mean, you had a time management with school and basketball, being the study hall. Now you go to practice, you got to perform. That's it.
Yeah.
If you don't perform, you can go home.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. And if you don't look at it like that, you look at it as like it's fun and games, you're not going to make it that far, or you won't get any more checks. So
Yeah.
All right, so I guess before we even jump into pro career, we should just take it all the way back.
Yeah. Start all the way over.
Start all the way back.
Like we say, if you're in Bucks County area, even if you're real into basketball, or whatever on the East Coast, tri-state area, this guy is. Like I said, he's a big time basketball player, and we're just gonna get into talking about some hoops.
So taking it all the way back to middle school, because I didn't meet you pretty much until 10th grade. You just always hear Dalton Pepper. Like, DB even told me that y'all used to play football together too. So what made you basically transition from football to just pursue basketball full time?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, everyone likes to play sports. They just do whatever they want. I mean, I had a surgery that ended my baseball career and football career, so I just wanted to stick with basketball because the doctor said you can't really throw a ball anymore. So
right.
I focused on that one sport, and I think it was better for me in the long run, just because you can focus on one thing, going to school, and that's it. So
I feel you, man. I definitely understand. So pretty much right from middle school, I would say from 8th grade, because I'm older than you by a year, and I was already a freshman. We were freshmen, and it was already talk around all of town that you was the next big phenom, you know what I mean, all that situation. Did that necessarily change your mentality as far as being just a kid playing sports to now you feel like you have to pretty much live up to expectations because of the legacy that your dad pretty much started in the area? Because if anybody doesn't know, Jack Pepper was one of the greats that played at Pennsbury High, and you coming into 9th grade, it was pretty much like you have to live up to expectations. Did that ever affect you, or was it more so like you just going to go out and play sports because that's what you love to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a little bit of pressure, like people talking and whatnot, but you just gotta, I mean, especially when you're young, it's hard to block it out. I mean, but now that you're older, you can just let it go in one ear and out the other and
right.
just focus. But when you're that young, like you don't know what's gonna happen. You just really want to play and prove yourself and prove people wrong, prove people right, whatever you got to do. But I think if you have the right people around you, like we went to a big basketball school. So I mean, we had a good coach, good players on our team, really good players. So we were fortunate enough to play top teams in the country, and that I think that prepares you, and I think our coach prepared us for the real world a little bit better than most high school coaches throughout the area.
Right. Let's see what else I got here. So pretty much going into ninth grade, like I said, you was already pretty much considered to be destined to be somebody ready to flourish as a superstar. Were you aware pretty much of how much hype surrounded you being just a freshman in high school, or was that something that pretty much struck you out of the blue when you first got in the basketball season?
I mean, you see things in the newspaper, and you hear people saying stuff and giving you say, oh, you got to do this, you got to go in and start right away and do this stuff. But really, it's just you got to go in, focus. I mean, if you don't get the grades, you couldn't play. Like I forget what Ski's rule was. Like if
you had to have a C at the minimum.
Yeah, so
obviously, yeah.
That'd have been good for me because that's
what
I was getting.
You couldn't have a D at all. But no, you know what I mean, like backtrack. Also, him coming in ninth grade, all that pressure you said, Triz. You know what I mean. He also had the pressure of like coming in, taking a number, also his jersey number, and the presence of like a guy in the area, Jason Vygotsky.
Right.
So like it was all that pressure too as well. I never even really cared or asked him about it, but like, well, did you ever care about because you always like, I was there too, like playing pickup with you there, seeing you just go against him as a kid. He's like a grown man at that time, coming back from college, and you had to take his number, jersey number, and his team basically to try to go get what he couldn't.
I mean, yeah, but it's really at that point it's just motivation. Like you see how good this person is. You looked up to him growing up, watching him play, and then you're going at him, playing against him. It's just it's a good feeling. And then when you start to feel, oh, I can play against this guy, you get more confidence, and you keep rolling, keep bringing your game up and stuff like that. But I think, I think it was a little bit difficult, but Vygotsky was a good player, really good shooter. Maybe
played a buck now.
Yeah.
Right.
And he could shoot the ball, but I mean, growing up playing Torian Jones, Gary Jones, I actually just talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Shout out to Gary, man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He works
great trainer.
People out. I mean, he worked all of us out when we were younger.
Yeah.
And he just cares. He just cares about the game. Just cares about.
Stays in touch with you.
Yeah. Just cares about getting people, because he brings the kids from Trenton who don't have much.
Yeah.
Brings them in, helps them out.
Pretty much just polishes them.
Gets them to college. Yeah. So it's good. A guy like Gary and Coleman is their head coach.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, so each year in high school, pretty much since you started as a freshman, it was pretty much evident that you wasn't affected at all by the pressures of performing on the court, but was it hard to handle off the court. And only reason I say that is because, being a star athlete, especially in high school, you get a lot of attention from girls. People want to share your spotlight, and just we all used to hoop outside of just playing in Pennsbury, just anywhere. And
how about that game they had your ex-girlfriend's picture in the crowd?
Man. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
I laughed at it, but I don't think she took it too well. But,
like how did it affect you, or did it affect you at all off the court as far as handling the pressure? Because like I said, we play basketball just outside of school, and if somebody notices you from a paper or something, they say, "Oh yeah, it's Dalton Pepper." Now you want to take a shot at him or something like that. You know what I mean? So
I think it's just really just motivation, kind of like when people say like, the best one I heard was "Salt is better." Like, DB heard that. So, I mean, that was the funniest one for me.
First time I think I heard that at a game that said to your ninth grade at Penrich.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see ninth grade, that's early.
And that was when they said, Frankie's sweating. That
I think it's fun in games. Like some people take it a different way. Like a guy like Draymond Green, he fuels himself off that. Mm-hmm. Like he brings his game to another level just off motivation, what people say, talking shit, whatever. But
it never really,
some guys it never get to their head.
It really never really, like one time, that one game, it never really got to you ever.
I mean, I think if you listen to it, when you're young, I mean, when you're in 9th or 10th grade, it's hard. Like you see this, you
'Cause
look
you
up
had
in
to
the
deal
crowd,
with a
you get
lot.
distracted.
Because you had to deal with a lot the first two years, first of all, of adversity. And, you know what I'm saying? Not you, just person on the team. Just with a lot of egos and stuff like that. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was another big player, Lavoy Allen, on your team. Not that you guys did, but certain players on the team, guards, everything like that you had to deal with. So, like did that ever get to you?
Not really, because we were a really talented team. I mean, we had guys at the end of the bench who were really good players. Like,
You always say in 2006
I think that was the most talented team with. I mean, they had Josh Caver as like the 7th, 8th man. He was
a leaper. He had bunnies
Yeah.
like Vince Carter. I remember we used to play at
no one
EOP.
really remembers that team. And anytime we do get into heated discussions about teams in the area, not even just Pennsbury, like Dahl does say, you know, other than like that main team with the Final Four, is that team that really should have been the team.
Mm-hmm. But, and again, the only reason why I was asking about is it hard to handle the pressure off the court, because remember, I would say you was a junior at the time, and you had a game at the NAC, and me and Dalton was watching on the sideline. Remember, the guy noticed him, and he was like, "Oh, this Dalton Pepper," because when y'all was about to get into it, he was, "Oh, this Dalton Pepper," and I remember
Dalton fucking threw the ball in his face.
If it wasn't for DV, I might have.
And I was about to say, I was on the sideline. I was like, "Yo, let's go." I was like, "Let's go." I took him out because I don't even want to.
Yeah,
at
and
that
he
point,
had a game that weekend,
right? And it's like you try to take a shot at him because you automatically know he's a star of the town. You want to try to put a blemish on his record, and I wasn't allowing that because, you know, luckily we got people around us or people around him to pretty much protect them, because that's what you need when you're a star athlete. And I felt like that was one of those times where it was definitely needed for us to basically keep him out of harm's way, which is why I feel like so appreciative to be your friend as long as I've been, and especially for you two, because y'all been friends for longer. But like, I just feel like when people know that you have something good going on, they'll try to fuck it up immediately.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, yeah, we got to go.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, I got to ask you, as we just saw on tape, how influential was Coach Ski during your time playing for him? Because
Frank Sciola.
Right. Frank Sciola now is a coach at Conwell Egan.
No, he's back at Pennsbury actually now, coaching women's basketball.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out to Ski. But again, he mentioned that. You mentioned that he guided you throughout your whole career at Pennsbury. So was that more of, I would say, of just playing basketball, or did he guide you through off the court, or was it a mixture of both?
As far as recruitment,
right?
And
definitely, he did help. He did help off the court and on the court. Like, he would shoot you a text, "Hey, you want to go to the gym and get a workout in? Like, you want to get extra shots up, blah blah blah." Like, he was that type of guy who cared there and tried to make sure and push you in the classroom. Because when I was really younger, I wasn't motivated in the classroom, and I didn't really care that much.
And that's normal for somebody that young.
You just wanted to play basketball.
Yeah, so I mean, he definitely helped in that way. But a guy like, you see Lavoy Allen, who's now in the NBA, he's been playing for the last, I think, four years.
Mm-hmm.
He started out, he wasn't the greatest player. He wasn't.
I heard that he didn't even play basketball in 9th grade. Is that true?
Oh, he played on the freshman
team.
And he was at that point like 6'5", right?
Yeah.
So
no, he was like 6. Yeah.
Still the same height.
6'7", maybe.
Wow.
And he just developed into one of the best bench players in the East. Made it to the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he earns 4 points, but you know, it does what he's got to do.
Right.
Because I think Ski helped motivate him and get him better throughout his years, getting stronger.
Right.
From his sophomore year to his senior year, and helping him out, getting him to Temple. And I mean, Lavoy's talented, so I mean, it wasn't too difficult to make. He had all the tools. He's big. He can catch. He can shoot. But I think he helped him out a lot, and they're still friends to this day, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, because again, I feel like sometimes coaches just let stars do what they want, but in this case, it seemed more like that wasn't necessarily the case with you and Ski, because it seemed like he kind of knew he had something special with you, so he made sure you stayed out of trouble. And he even mentioned that he thought that you was the best player to come out of Bucks County, and then he also stated that he thought you were a McDonald's All-American. Did you guys ever have those kind of convos during practice or anything like that when it came down to being a McDonald's All-American, and what that process was like for you as a pretty much a superstar in high school.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of actually a pretty good class during that time.
Very good class.
I think Ski definitely he tried to get me in as many things as I could, like extra camps and national camps and stuff like that, which helped out because he knew some people. He could make some few calls or whatever he had to do, but he definitely talking about like McDonald's. He would motivate me, like even when we were playing Putnam City
versus Xavier Henry.
These guys were all motivating me. DB was X gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you.
So you DMX to him.
So we had McDonald's before the game, and everyone was eating the burgers. And I sat on the side, ate the salad.
Yeah, salad from McDonald's.
DB got in my head, and Ski was saying, "Yeah,
just motivated you a little bit more."
Christmas tournament, all the big schools were there, you know. And
is that the one when y'all went to South Carolina?
No, we went to Delaware. This is the
Delaware.
Final Four year, and he was already on a roll. Like he was either had that 41-point game, 40-point game. Then we go into Christmas, and then he's already having like 28. You know, and he has to go against Xavier Henry. And it's perfect for his recruitment.
At the time, didn't he already commit to Kansas at that time? Or was it
No, he wasn't committed at all.
But he was just like a top 20 player.
At that time, he was the number one player in the country.
Right.
And he was at this tournament with Pennsbury from Bucks County.
Right, so if anything, this was more motivation for you to want to deliver, prove people wrong.
So, you know, there's schools like Miami, you're there to see him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
A bunch of D1 perfect.
Bunch of major Division I schools that are there to see him, and he showed up.
That's dope. But we already mentioned Lavoie, obviously, and how good he became over the years. But just for your instance, how was that experience for the 2 years that you had to spend with him in high school?
Lavoie, he's a real down to earth guy. Like even now he'll be he's friends with people he started with. He didn't really cut anyone off. Who
never changed.
Yeah, and that's good about him. He was never cocky, screaming at people in the locker room and doing any of that stuff. So I mean, he's definitely a guy that I looked up to when I was younger, playing and just seeing how better he got and his work ethic and being around people like that, it's good and it's motivation. That's what you need. You need teammates like that. You need, especially with a guy with his talent.
Right.
So if you can do that, I mean, Lavoie, he's a great guy. I know he has a big family now. I think
three kids.
Yeah, and he's been with the same girl since high school. So that's cool.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I always felt like, I'm not sure if this happened just by nature or if this was just a coincidence, but I always felt like you guys had a similar demeanor because I always think, whenever I think about you, I always think about like Klay Thompson. Like he's very, very, very low-key, quiet, you know what I mean? Sharpshooter, but he's not going to be the guy.
He hates Klay Thompson.
But he's turned on me in this practice. Yeah.
But you know, like you shouldn't expect you to go yelling at people in the locker room if you're down 15. You'll rather let them know that you'll help them bring them back by just playing.
See, like that's one thing that you can say about Pep. He was never one of the. You knew when he was mad at you. You knew when he had something to say to you, but he would never say it.
Right. It was just a quiet demeanor.
It was already on his face, you know, in the game. You know, in practice, whatever.
Right.
It was never a time really like we were losing. We always were winning, but it was never a time where we were almost losing. You could see it in the game. And, you know, he never really had nothing to say, but you could see.
It was like kind of like he don't need to tell you that you fucking up. You just already knew to lock up.
And if he did say it to you, it was like 2 or 3 words. It was like do this, do that. Not really like that.
No, I know what you mean.
It was never that teammate to do that. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. All right, so at this point, by junior year, I would say you was already nationally recognized. When did you get your first offer letter, and from what college was it from, if you remember?
Pretty sure it was from Villanova. They were definitely, when I was younger, they came to a lot of games. They came to a lot of workouts. Jay Wright, he played against my dad, so they knew each other. I
forgot they played against each other.
Yeah, so he was able to use that as a reason to come a little bit often because he said he's a family member. That's part of a rule, NCAA rule, that if you have a family member, you can go visit.
Right.
Or a friend. So I think Villanova was definitely the first team who showed a lot of interest, like a lot of it. So I actually committed there
by accident?
I verbally committed to Jay Wright. So, but then I
Tell
went
the
on a few
story.
other visits.
Tell the
on
story.
the golf cart.
Nah,
Jay
tell the
Wright.
whole story. We're at team camp. Tell the whole story.
This was actually when I really verbally committed.
Yeah, we're
Just
at a game.
one-on-one.
We're at
No, this was on a little day visit
Okay.
after school one day. And we went on the golf cart just talking probably for 3-4 hours. And yeah, it was
Pretty
I
much.
changed my mind, but I just wanted to go take a few more
Basically, they
visits.
just had like a conversation. At the end of the conversation, Jay Wright assumed that Dalton was going to Villanova, and Dalton walked away thinking, "Oh, hey, that was a nice visit," and that was it. You know, but next day, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, Dalton Pepper's committed to Villanova." He's like, "What the fuck?"
Like,
So-
how the fuck did he get that?
Yeah,
much?
you know, and this is like his junior year. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, I thought he was gonna wait another year."
Yeah.
So that as his teammate in high school, I thought that was hilarious.
And you know you hype man, so you gonna laugh
I
at
thought it
anything.
was
You
so,
probably made
I
it
thought it
worse.
was so funny.
But I want to ask you, what school would you have played for if given the opportunity? Like,
I mean,
what
I
was your?
think-
Did you have a dream school, or was it more so like you just going to pretty much weigh your options from who actually wanted you?
Yeah, I think it's definitely who showed the most interest, who gave you the best chance of. Obviously, you want to win. That's the main goal, and you want to play too.
Right.
So, obviously, the
So
Big
what was
East
it?
at
What
that
was it in
time.
order for you? Like your recruitment. What was like? It was like, was it playing time, or was it? Because I know, as knowing you, I know it wasn't academics. It was playing time and winning.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
like-
yeah,
that
and
was-
also
that was-
you're living there. You're living. If you go somewhere far, you got to stay there. You're not going to be able to come home.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you got to be able to. Do you want to stay in this place? Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna like the people there? Like, stuff like that. And I thought West Virginia was a good social school.
Mhm.
They definitely like to get after it. But
What do you mean by get
off the
after
court,
it?
I think you know.
All right.
And DB got me off topic now. DB got me off topic.
We'll
But-
Known to do that.
Because I visit you for a week and it turns to me standing there for a month and a half.
Yeah, that was a great trip. That was a great trip.
All right, so
But anyway, continue like your how you went to West Virginia and
well, wait. I don't want to go that far
No.
yet because I want to still talk about basically again in junior year, which pretty much seemed to me to be like the year that you broke out nationally. You led Pennsbury to a school record 30 wins, and you guys get to the state semifinal, and you face, as you know, the powerhouse known as the Chester Clippers.
The goats.
and it's
Oh
on.
wow, that's crazy! I didn't even know that. Right on TV.
And it's on.
And again,
Psycho 8.
Socko.
I was pretty much torn because it's like, do I root for my boys or do I root for my
I
family?
just remember you had the other than the players on the court, you had the most to stake in the game.
Dead ass.
I'm
I
so
felt-
serious.
I felt like I was living two lives. I'd be on the student
so-
section and then I had to run all the way to
I'm
the
so
other side and
serious.
talk to my
It
family.
it was nobody else other than the players on the court that had most to stake in the game. You're from Chester, but went to Pennsbury.
Yeah, it was, and I think this was only at the time like the second time they ever faced each other. So it was kind of like this was me being in high school. It was kind of like I don't know what the fuck to do. I just pray that we win because obviously I go to that school, but I know that I still have family on the other team.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I just wanted it to be a good game, but I want us to win. And pretty much,
Couldn't hear in there.
yeah, it was ridiculous. It really felt like an NBA Finals game because it was definitely the best game I can honestly say I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Because
But let's get to that as we talk about his senior year, because I could talk about Chester all day.
all right, well, I want to ask you too, because remember you were so amped for that game that was literally the first time. That was like when 5 Hour Energy first came out. You was like, I'm about to take one of these. I need all the energy I can get
took
for
like
that
two
game.
of those for that game.
So, pretty much, what was I going to ask you?
Dude, because the thing was, what it was is that it was like that throughout high school, everyone knew they were the best team.
Right.
And just like that was just like every summer, you know, like just to play any player in AAU or in high school to play against them from Chester. If you did well against them, you did something good because they're all every good player like was from Chester almost.
Right.
It was kind of crazy, honestly. Every year they're the best team, top 3 in the country. And in that game, I know for Pep, as I'm speaking on tape, he just dropped me a dime. But But no, but anyway, you were on his junior year though. I want to go back to his junior year. That was our Final Four year. That year, obviously, his next year they went far again. But like you know, what I'm saying, he had his great career. But that year, I played with some good players, man. But like you know, what I mean, that year, what I'm saying, was just a memorable basketball year.
And
just
that's what I'm saying. I feel
very
like
memorable for the county. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's Pennsbury. You know what I mean? Like I feel like basketball is very good. Softball, obviously, everything's. But his year as a whole, everyone knew about him after that.
And I can honestly say, like, I feel like when people talk about basketball outside of the city or whatever the case may be, they feel like it's soft. You know what I mean? They feel like they don't have anybody that can go up against.
But the thing, it's funny thing is people do know who he is outside of in the tri-state area. They say, "Oh, that white boy that can shoot."
Right.
But like it's
kind of like that's when they say, "Oh well, if our team was playing them, it wouldn't be." But that wasn't the case because in that Chester game, he still had 28 and 10. And I feel like in that game, it kind of proved to a lot of people, because I'm sure it was scouts there too, that this guy can really play with the best of them. You know what I mean? And in that junior year, that's the year that you scored 746 points, and that's also the season that you broke your dad's record. So how did it feel knowing that you pretty much, in that instance, carry the legacy to the next level?
That's what I'm saying. It was such a historical year.
Right.
I mean, right there, that was a great team. We had a lot of key guys. We had shooters. We had Eddie DiRuggiero just transferred in from Germantown Academy, and I think he helped out big time with athleticism on the ball, defensively, scoring a little bit, and getting the teammates involved sometimes. So, but
sometimes
we played some big DB again. We played some big time teams that year. And I think we definitely, we proved to a lot of people that we can play with top teams in the nation, not just around here. And I think it helped us as a team, all of our players grow as players, gain confidence, and because we had some pretty good players. So, but personally, I think when you brought up the personal thing, it was definitely a big year for myself.